What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for the 9th episode of Divine Journey 2. In this one, we get started with some extra utilities too, and get our first automation set up. Hope you enjoy. It's finally time to get into some automation. So, before I do that, I do want to show you what I got done in between episodes. One thing I did is I came into the quest book and claimed all of our unclaimed quest rewards, and those are in these two crates here. And I kind of just separated it by things that are going to be useful to us and things that are just kind of random rewards that we don't exactly need. Um, most of the stuff in here is either going to be used today or at some point in the near future. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to grab out all of our ores in here that can be doubled. So amethyst is not going to be one of those. Cincinnate's not. Diamond's not. Nether quartz, diamond, redstone, all of that can stay in here. And we'll just leave that in there for now. And we're going to bring that over here to this ore processing setup that I did in between episodes. So this ore processing setup, all we do is throw all of our ores that can be doubled into this chest. And then they get processed into this enrichment chamber, which turns them into dust. And then the dust goes up here into this smelter, and then that gets processed straight into this chest. I did a fair amount of mining in between episodes, so I've been running that thing quite a lot. And we got a pretty decent haul here. Some of it you saw in the chest before I actually put the other stuff in there is still being processed up. And this thing just takes some time. Another setup that I did in between episodes is this one. This is just a basic automated inscriber setup. So we have our power coming into the back of each of these inscribers. And then I have signs on here to dictate what needs to go into them. That just tells you which kind of press is in here and what it's going to make. So let me grab some resources real quick. Alright, I got some resources, so I'm going to show you how this thing works real quick. So say we needed 8 engineering processes or processors and then 8 logic processors. All we would do is toss 8 diamonds into here and then 8 gold into here. Those are going to go into these logic and engineering presses. And then we would throw our silicone into here. That's going to go into the silicone press on the bottom. And then we throw our redstone into here. So once these logic and engineering presses get done, as well as the silicone, they're going to pipe out into this inscriber here, which is going to actually make the item with the redstone. And then that just comes out into this chest. So it makes it a lot easier than having to sit here and wait on them manually, because they do have a stack size of 1 here in this input slot. And then I also added this little section out here. This is going to be the first expansion of our new base. We're not really going to get this done in this episode, but we are going to work in here a little bit with some of our extra utilities too stuff. And then lastly, I do want to show you the ME drives. So this is the reason that I set that process up over there. All I did was make 2 4Ks, which are down here. They haven't actually been touched yet. And then 8 more 1Ks, because this drive was getting full and we were starting to have to put stuff in storage crates. So after I did that, I cleaned up the couple storage crates over here and the few here that we had from all those different dimensions. And everything is now in our ME system. Now I'm going to come into here and we're going to grab out all of our ores that need to be mined with Silk Touch. So not relic ore. Relic ores, we're going to hold on to that in case we need more relic ingots. But all the rest of this stuff, including the diamond, that should be all of it. We're going to grab, and I'm just going to place them down, and we're going to see how much we get out of these. Alright, let's take a look in the inventory and see what we got. This relic dust is actually from one of the quest rewards, so I didn't actually mine that there. That's pretty nice that we got a resonating redstone crystal. We're gonna need a few of these. But we got a stack and 31 diamonds. That's really nice. We got some Certus quartz and some charged Certus quartz. A few stacks of redstone, some amethyst, some nether quartz, and a little bit of emeralds. So now we're gonna throw all of this stuff into our ME system. And I'm going to pull all of this stuff out, put it in the ME system, and then go through this and decide what we may need in the future. If we might need it, then I'm going to put it in the ME system, and if not, I'm probably just going to trash it. Alright, I got these storage crates cleaned up, trashed a lot of items, transferred everything into our ME system, and one other thing that I wanted to show you that was a quest reward is this clipboard, and this allows us to kind of keep track of what we've done or what we're planning to do. So say for example, today we're going to get into extra utilities 2. And the first thing that we're going to need to do for that is get some power. So we can add that in there, and then we can check that off when we get done, or leave it unchecked, or put an X by it if we decide not to do it. So this might be something that I use in the future. I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely seems like it may come in handy, so I'm going to keep it for now. I know another thing that I want to get done today is a mob spawner, so I can add that here. And then up here at the top, we can actually describe what this thing is for. So we're going to call it to-do list. And yeah, that's all there is to that. So let's get started on crafting some of this extra utilities 2 stuff. So right off the bat, we're going to need a fair amount of enriched alloy. So we'll throw our redstone in there and our iron in there. And I want to grab this super sound muffler. We're going to use that to craft a super sound muffler bauble. So with the super sound muffler bauble, we can actually toss it into our bauble slot, which is where it's going to stay for the most of the time. But if we come over here, I'm sure you can hear these machines. They're quite loud. And the way that this works is we would come in here into our super sound muffler and we would search mechanism, and then we would look for the machine. So one of the machines that's running right here is a furnace. So we would look for the energized smelter, I believe is what it's called. Well, actually, this will make it easier. We can just select the recent tab, and then we can add the energized smelter here. And you notice how that sound just got removed. So then we can come in here and go to recent, and we'll add the metallurgic infuser, and we will also add the enrichment chamber. And now you'll notice when I'm standing over here, it's relatively quiet as opposed to how loud it was before. I really love this feature. In newer versions of Minecraft, you actually will spawn with one of these right here in your inventory. But in this one, this is what we got, so we're going to use it to the fullest. And we'll just throw that back in here for now, unless there's more machines that we need to muffle. While we are waiting for this enriched alloy, we can toss some diamonds into this enrichment chamber, getting it ready to make some more reinforced alloy. While I'm waiting on that, I do want to go ahead and we're going to need a little bit of glass panes. We should have some in here. We do. So while I'm waiting on that, I want to go ahead and craft up a couple more feral flare lanterns, or actually probably just one more. So we can craft that just like this. We need the terrain lighter, and then we can grab the feral flare lantern. We're going to put this under the floor right over here to light up the new section of the base, make sure no mobs spawn. Now that our enriched alloy is done, we're going to turn half of that into advanced alloy. I think it's advanced. What is it called? Reinforced alloy. We're going to turn half of that into reinforced alloy. I only need a little bit of this for now, so we'll take these 11. Now I'm going to need to make up 4 advanced control circuits. Then we need some energetic silver, so we'll throw a stack of redstone, silver, and glowstone into the arc furnace and split that up. That gives us 1 stack of energetic silver. With that, we can now craft 4 elite control circuits, 5 redstone blocks, our resonator, 4 polished stone, 4 redstone torches, a redstone gear, and a manual mill. Now we can plop our resonator down over here and then throw the manual mill on top. when you turn this manual mill, it's going to generate you 15 grid power. In this pack, you need 8 GP to make stone burnt, but some of these other things you're going to need different amounts of GP to make. So the manual mill is probably not enough for everything, but it's going to be good for us for now. Then we can claim our extra utilities 2 manual from the quest book, as well as 4 more polished stone. Now I can craft myself 1 solar panel. This only gives us 1 GP, but it's constant in the sunlight. We're going to fly up here on top of our power system and we'll plop this down. Now we need some more Osco glass, so I'm going to go ahead and get some glowstone and some refined obsidian craft up. Alright, I now have 2 stacks of refined obsidian, glowstone, and osmium. So we're going to toss that into our arc furnace so that we can make 2 stacks of Osco glass. Now that I have 2 stacks of Osco glass, I'm going to throw half a stack in with some lapis to make some Osco lapis. That gives us a full stack. Now I can process this Osco lapis through the resonator to get lunar reactive dust. I saved 10 of my Osco lapis in case I need it for later, so we'll throw that in there, and then we're just going to hold down right click until this manual mill's done. Alright, I got 38 of this lunar reactive dust done, and we're going to do the rest of this later. But while I was sitting here, I right clicking, I did it for probably about 20 minutes. I came to the realization that I'm going through this quest in a different order than I should be. So I was actually going through this one, and that's going to take me down here. But if I get right into here, we can get some generators, and then I actually won't have to be right clicking at all. I can just have the generators do it all for me. So I think probably the easiest one and the one that's going to give us the most power right off the start is between the water and the fire mill, but I think we're probably just going to go straight for the fire mill. So we're going to craft these redstone stars real quick. So I'm going to do 7 blocks of coal. That coal is going to go into the resonator, and I am going to need to right click this. That gives us 7 red coal, then 1 copper rod, a glass cutter, some ender shards. Now I need to duplicate up some more GP powder. I'm going to do as much as I can with the amount of crushed diamonds and quartz I have. That gives me 36. With that, I can craft myself 5 redstone stars. 28 polished stone. 25 of this is going to go into the resonator. That gives us 25 stone burnt. Then we need a bit of nether brick fences. With all that, we can craft ourselves 5 fire mills. Alright, I went ahead and crafted up 1 more fire mill just for the purpose of symmetry. And we're going to go ahead and dedicate this room here for our grid power generation. So I want this to be lined up in the center. That looks right. And then I'm going to take this out 6 blocks. And I'm also going to add some portrait stairs here, just like we have over there, just to kind of hide this netherrack a little bit. And I need to grab my flint and steel out. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and place these fire mills in. So they just need to be right here above this netherrack. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to light 4 of these. And you can see right here, it says it's generating 8. Now I believe after 4, this number is going to go down because there's diminishing returns on these. So if I light this one, oh, it's still generating 8. Let's try one more. Okay, so you can see now it has 7.56 with a 6% efficiency loss. That's just because of the diminishing returns. There's not really anything we can do about that except using some of these other types of generators we got here. So we will add some of these later, but these fire mills are going to serve us well for now. Now that we have our fire mills, we can throw our Osco lapis back in here, and it's going to generate on its own. Alright, I got a little area set up. This lava does have to be surrounded by nether bricks, otherwise it will not generate. That is a mistake that you do not want to make, unless you just really like wasting your resources. Let's deal with this guy real quick. But that really dropped all the way down there? Yeah, that can just stay down there. So now let's throw our gold ingots into this lava. And that gives us a stack of demon ingots. Then I can grab out the rest of the lunar reactive dust, and I'm going to throw some enriched alloy in here to make some upgrade bases. While those upgrade bases are preparing, we're going to throw some demon ingots into the arc furnace with the lunar reactive dust. That's going to give us demon lord ingots. There's our stack of demon lord ingots. Now I can grab my 16 upgrade bases out of the resonator. And I can make myself a few more mechanism speed upgrades. And we're going to use these speed upgrades for mechanism. Oh, I need a little bit of gold. Throw that in here to make a couple of speed upgrades for extra utilities. These are going to go into our resonator to speed up all of its processes. Now there's two recipes with the demon lord ingots. One of these is going to give us mob grindium. The other one's going to give us open ingots. So the open ingots need paper. We can split that up. And the mob grindium needs gunpowder, and then we can split that in here as well. Now we have 16 open ingots and 32 mob grindium. Now I'm going to need a bit more stone burnt, so we'll toss that in here and let it run. You'll notice this is going a lot faster now that we have these speed upgrades in here. Now we're going to craft ourselves a steel casing, and then a machine block. We're going to go ahead and claim the 4 atomic alloy from this quest, as well as 16 osmium from this one, 12 gunpowder from this one, 12 gold from this one, and 4 GP powder from this one. Now I need to craft some of these moonstones, and this uses unstable ingots. And these unstable ingots, we can put it in here fine, but once we pull this out, you have 10 seconds before it explodes. That's plenty of time to craft this, so we're just going to do it real quick. But just be wary of that if you go to craft it in your own world. Those things will explode on you, so you need to have all the ingredients ready to go. The quest for these moonstones actually gives you 2 stable unstable ingots. So the way that these work is you can actually craft the nuggets, the same recipe just with an iron nugget instead. And these don't explode, but they're much more expensive on the amount of diamonds that they take, so we're not going to be crafting those right now. Now we're going to need 4 quartz blocks. We're going to throw those into the resonator to get quartz burnt. There's our 4 quartz burnt. With that, we can craft our enchanter. That gives us 6 lunar reactive dust as a reward, so we'll go ahead and claim that. Then we're going to need to craft ourselves up some books. I actually need some more paper so that we can make 1 more book. With those 9 books, we're going to make ourselves 3 bookshelves. And we're going to throw our enchanter down here on our power line and throw these bookshelves in with 3 lapis. Requires a full set of bookshelves nearby. Okay, so I'm going to go out into the world and actually look for some bookshelves because crafting these is kind of expensive. Alright, these books are actually in the Twilight Forest. I thought I remembered the Lich King having quite a few books in his tower. So we're going to grab these real quick and then we'll head back to the base. Alright, after pillaging the Lich King's tower, got a little bit over a stack and a half of books. So I'm going to take up that resonator and manual mill right there. Because for right now we're going to put the enchanter right in this area since it needs power. And we're going to give him, or it, I should say, enough bookshelves for a max tier enchanting table. And then I'm going to kind of go underground here and run the cable that way. Alright, I got my cable run, so now we should be able to plop our enchanter down here and then throw in 3 bookshelves. That gives us 3 magical wood. That quest actually gives us 12 more books, so we're going to claim that real quick. Then we can throw some gold in here with some lapis, and that gives us 16 enchanted ingots. Now we're going to need 4 glowstone. With that, we can craft our sun crystal. We actually need 5 sun crystals for these next few quests, so I went ahead and crafted up 4 more. And then we're just going to throw these right here in sunlight, and that's going to fill them up slowly. Now that our sun crystals are full, we can just walk over and pick them up. Now we need to get ourselves some diamond spikes. To do that, we're going to have to work our way through the spike tiers. First is wooden spikes, then stone spikes, then iron spikes, then gold spikes, and finally diamond spikes. Then we need a couple of mob grindium blocks, 3 diamond gears and 1 iron gear, some stone slabs, a fan, a mob fan, a mob masher, a vacuum hopper, a drop of evil, an absorption hopper, and an XP bottler. So, these are a majority of the items we're going to use to build our mob farm. We don't actually need these stone slabs anymore. And crafting these actually completed quite a few quests in here, so I'm going to go ahead and claim these. This bottom row in my inventory is actually what I got from these quest rewards. So we're going to throw, actually, I'm going to keep the open ingots out. We're going to throw the diamonds in the system and the glass bottles and the wither skeleton skull. Then we're going to toss our iron ore into the ore doubling setup. And then we're going to toss the osclo lapis into the resonator. Alright, it's about time to build our mob farm. We are still going to need to craft a few more things for this and some upgrades for some of these. But this will be enough to kind of get an idea of what we still need. So I've been sitting here debating whether we should build the farm in order to accommodate for divine RPG mobs, which they drop like these Terran shards and these corrupt shards and stuff like that. And I was like, and the reason I'm debating this is because we would need to build it down at a lower Y level if we want to accommodate those. And I decided that we are going to accommodate them because it's going to be better to have the drops and not need them to need them and not have them. So let's go ahead and dig us a hole down to bedrock and start working on this mob farm. Alright, well, I got a bulk of the mob farm built, and here's a little 9x9 area of dirt so that we can put down our drop of evil. That's going to cause mobs to spawn like crazy. We're going to need to craft up a couple more fans and then also some upgrades for that fan. We have pretty much the same color palette as the build, but I did do these lapis lazuli lamps. I'm pretty sure that a mob farm with a drop of evil can spawn regardless of light level, but we're going to make it dark in there just in case. And then right back here is where we're going to have our drawer system to store all of the items that we get. So let's go ahead and go craft some more of these things that we need. So we're going to use frame drawers, which we can craft just like this. We're going to need, I think, 26 of these. Then a diamond lattice, 3 quartz blocks, some quartz slabs, 2 potentiometers, a basic drawer, and a drawer controller. Some upgrade templates, and a drawer key, 2 more iron gears, 2 more fans, some more mob grindium, 2 more mob fans, 4 levers, some more red iron compound that we need to smelt down, some oak trim, a framing table, 3 tough fabric, 3 mob fan width upgrades, some more demon ingots, some more demon lord ingots, and some more mob grindium, 3 distance modifiers. Then we can plop our framing table down. Inside the framing table, we're going to put our frame drawers, and then we're going to put the 2 materials that we want it to resemble. So let's see, how does this work exactly? Okay, we want the inside to be white concrete, and we want the outside to be basalt, and grab out our 26 frame drawers. Then we need 3 windmill blades and 3 height modifiers. Now that we have all this stuff crafted up, we're going to head back inside here. We're going to place a fan there and a fan there. And if we show area, those should push right into this mob grinder. We can disable those areas though. And then we also have this mob fan here, which is going to need the upgrades. And that actually leaves out a small section over here. So we might need to craft up another fan and actually have 2 of them pushing from the back over here. Alright, so I crafted up another fan, and if we show area here, this one will basically cover this half, and then this one will cover the other half, but I'm going to need to craft up some more of these upgrades. Alright, I got these extra upgrades crafted up, so let's toss those in and just double check to make sure that's going to work. Looks good to me. Then I need to get my levers in on the back of each of these, and then I also need one on the grinder. So let's see if I can't get down underneath here. Now I need to set up my drawer system. So my controller is going to go right here in the middle. And then I'm going to go in with frame drawers in all of these spaces. I don't know if we'll actually need all of these drawers, but better to have too many than not enough. Alright, I got all my drawers in. Now I'm going to take the key and go ahead and lock these so that we're not getting the non-stackable items from mobs like bows from skeletons and stuff, because we're going to avoid that stuff. Now I'm going to need somewhere to store the items, or at least a buffer for both of them. So I'm just going to use one of these storage crates that I made up before for the items, and then for the XP I'm going to use some drums. So we're actually going to go up to the iron drum just like this, and that should give me a nice buffer. Now I'm going to throw the iron drum down on the right side and the storage crate on the left side. And then we need to configure this to automatically push out. So if I just set one, alright, so south is that way. So we're going to change that back to none. That means north is going to be behind me and west is going to be for fluid. That's going to be the XP. And then the east is going to be for items. So fluids are automatically going to go in here, items are going to go in here. Then we can show the area, and we're going to want to offset this to the north so that it's only picking up items within the mob farm. And then I'm going to, actually for right now, we're probably just going to have this crate store all the items. And then once I can get into some item conduits, I'll pipe the items out. Pulsating iron, how do you make this? Iron and ender pearl, what about conduit binder? Energized dark dust, how do we make this? Okay, so we're actually not too far off of being able to make item conduits, but once we get those, we'll be able to pipe out of here into the drawer system. That way I can set a priority on the drawer controller and then a negative priority on a trash can to get rid of all the excess items. Alright, now it's actually time to get this mob farm up and running. So I need to get down here, flip this lever on so that the mob masher is working. And then I need to get around this back side. And this is just how we're going to get into it, at least for right now. I'll probably add a door or something here so that I can get in and out easier if I need to do any kind of maintenance. then we're going to find the center block, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and place in our drop of evil. That's going to spread, and we should see mobs start spawning in there. And we're going to flip on all of our mob fans. And just like that, they're getting pushed into the mob masher, getting killed. The absorption hopper's picking everything up, placing it into this crate and this drum. Okay, so let's craft ourselves a super sound muffler real quick. We'll need a note block, and then a little bit of wool. And then we can craft the muffler just like that. Alright, let's place this down right here. Ah, that's much nicer. We don't have to listen to all of these guys taking damage and dying. Something's dropping torches, and quite a lot of them. But we don't really have to worry about that too much. But yeah, this is some of the drops we're going to get. There's going to be other drops we're going to get too. And we can also add upgrades to the masher so that all of the mobs in here will get killed faster and drop more loot for us. Alright, so the last thing we need to do is set up this XP bottler. And so this is going to go right on top of the drum. Then we're going to turn on auto drink and configure the bottom to pull that in. We don't need to auto extract or auto eject. And so then if I go grab some bottles, we can throw those right in here. And that's going to make us bottles of experience. Alright, I went ahead and crafted myself up one more sun crystal because we used one more than I thought we would. But now we can craft this thermal conductor rod. Next we're going to need to get ourselves a little bit of bronze. Let me go ahead and get this 4 aluminum brass out of the smeltery just so it don't alloy. And then we're going to throw some copper in with some tin to alloy for bronze. Now that I have my bronze, we're going to throw this into the crusher to get bronze dust. There's our 44 bronze dust. And then I actually have the crusher running right now for some more crushed black quartz. Then we're going to need to duplicate up some more GP powder. With that GP powder, thermal conductor rod, bronze dust, and the bottles of enchanting, we can now make ourselves some RF powder. Getting this RF powder actually gave us another trophy. So we're going to pop down a couple more of these over here. Put the trophy on top. Technological entry. The reason it says that because this RF powder actually unlocks this chapter of the quest book, which is called Machines Go Burr. But basically that's going to get us into some thermal and some Ender IO. And also right down here, something really awesome is the crafting terminal from Applied Energistics. But the next chapter of the quest book is going to have to wait until the next episode. I really hope you enjoyed this one. We got a lot done. Got our first automation being the mob farm. And if you did enjoy it, make sure to drop down, leave a like and subscribe. And goodbye.